1972 and 1973, you would wrestle Dusty Rhodes in countless tags and singles. I suppose Dusty Rhodes sort of like the difference between what I would have seen when I had all the videos of like 1990 and, son of a plumber and, hugely charismatic. I mean, what made heel Dusty Rhodes the heel, the bad guy? So what were the differences between early Dusty and later Dusty?
Not much. He's already wanted. They always wanted him. He already had that. He had that quality about him. He was tagged with Murdoch, and he was a rugged guy. And I was a 225 pound baby face, and most of the guys were my size. So it's he was a big rugged guy, close to 280, 300 pounds, and if not for that type of distinction, his interviews would have turned him probably even sooner than that, babyface. As soon as you saw, he was one of those guys, destined to be a singles performer. The Outlaws with Dick, and he was just destined to be a singles guy. Yeah. That promo, like you said, Superstar was doing it one place, and Dusty was doing it. I don't think either of them ever played off, maybe learned from each other, but I don't think either was copying it. And they say it came from Thunderbolt Patterson, but that was Thunderbolt when he was down in Florida, and Dusty didn't go to Florida till after Minneapolis. So Dusty had pretty much had his own rap. Where he got it from, I don't know, but it was always hard. It was working with him was kind of a little hard. Getting good heat, even if you're real skinny baby face, like I almost was. people, he was right on the edge there. And if you didn't get some good heat on you, you wouldn't have. If you didn't do some good healing on you, it'd be hard to have a real good match.
Are the stories of him and Dick Murdoch painting the town red? Apart from they even got the mule riding a mule into a bar thing in the film The Wrestler, which after we were talking about films, I actually watched the entirety of The Wrestler, and they even got that into just to mention it. Were the stories of them just like going crazy on the town exaggerated, or as far as you knew, they basically lived up to the legend?
So I don't know, but if the story's worth telling, it's worth juicing up a little bit. So probably a little, but yeah, they were drinking, fighting, raising hell. The old Texas boys up in the Midwest, up in the cold there. They they were having a good time. How true they were, the mule story I know is true, and different bar fights and stuff that they were in, I hear was true. I was never there for any of that stuff, but there would always be conversation related to that.
I don't know if you hung out with Dick Murdoch much in the AWA or maybe other territories. You probably hung out with him more in the WWF when he was teaming with Adrian Adonis. Do you have any particular Dick Murdoch stories? I don't know. I think one that's like really famously going around was that they wanted the NWA board of directors wanted him to be the world champion, and then when it came time to him to prove that he could be trusted, he just did the silliest match he could, and then they just decided to go in another direction.
It could be. He was a great worker. He was one of those guys. Like he was out of his father was a world champion, I believe. NWA or something like that. Frank Murdoch, and he was as good. Yeah, he was as good as a worker, but he could do silly stuff too. I heard he worked 5 minutes with somebody hit him with an orange in Japan, and he took a big bump from the orange and dropping elbows on it and stuff. He could get crazy. But even though he could just go all night long and never get tired, one of those guys. Good heat. I was around Murdoch a bit in AWA and stuff, different hotels and stuff, get away. And he was cool, you know. He was just in Japan. I was with him in Japan a couple times, and he was always he'd go with the Japanese guys, stay all night, drink beer all night long, just drink. You know, that was his badge of honor.
Yeah. Keeping a low center of gravity so they couldn't throw him over the top rope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would you prefer to work with if you had your druthers for the rest of time, Dick or Dusty?
Well, I worked a lot with Dusty I was the heel, and that was always, you know, that's easy. That was like Hulk, you know, and Murdoch, if you just want to get in the ring, you know, with a, you know, and have a good match or great, you know, a busy, productive, you know, good match, it would always be Murdoch, you know. But I guess Dusty, you know, more money, more future, you know, more creativity with him. I did a lot of stuff with Dusty. Hit him with the ether, the can of paint, and I did a lot of stuff up around Jacksonville. He was always. I used to see his elbow in my dreams coming down on me.
Did it hurt?
Him and Abdullah.
Did the Dusty Rhodes bionic elbow actually hurt, or was it never got near you?
No, never. It's when he landed on you with that fat ass. But the elbow wasn't that bionic.
But the fat ass was bionic then.
Yeah. He was easy. They were easy. Working with Dusty was like working with Hulk. Basically, you know, your start, your middle, your finish, and then your end. It was, you know, he did all those hours with Harley and Flair and stuff, but everybody else, you know, the regular, you know, Ernie Ladd or me or the Assassin or Missouri Mauler, whoever he worked with him, you know, when he was babyface. Backside, it was just the same thing. Start off, you know, and he's doing all, you know, his slick stuff, and then get some heat on him, you know. Inevitably, he'd get some color, and then go into whatever you're doing for the finish. You know, there was not a lot to digest, you know. But you know, it's entertaining, and you know, filling in the spots, filling in all the blanks there. But you know, it's normally entertaining, you know, or exciting anyway.
And filling your pockets as well. Filling your pockets as well.
Yeah.